Hey guys, so I thought it would be fun to make some playthrough videos of Path of Exile, which is one of my favorite games for PC. Um, it's a lot like Diablo 3 for those of you who played it, and I'm sure a lot of you know this game already as well. Um, it's an action RPG. You just kind of click to move, click to attack, but it's extremely, first of all, it's free to play. It's extremely creative. The way in which you can build and design your character, theorycraft, the action in this game, it's all very, very well done. Um, I played this game a whole ton of times. I have a lot of characters all over here in the Standard League. Um, the Challenge Leagues over here include sort of new expansion content. There's actually a new expansion to this game coming out in like 6 days, 8 days, I want to say. But as each sort of league ends, its new features get migrated over to the standard league, which is just kind of like the core base game. This is what I play in. Now I'm going to be creating a new character, and we're just going to kind of go ahead and play as I level them up. I have an interesting build all planned out for this character. I'm gonna try not to spend too much time um, being a tutorial for the gameplay. That's not really what I want these videos to be about, but I am going to explain a good deal as I go about the way items work, the way skills work, the mechanics of the game. But I just want to have some fun here, and yeah, so we're going to get right into it, and you'll kind of see how this works. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new character. There are 7 different character classes. The plot of this game is that you are an exile who has been
You're
cast off from the
born with a
mainland of this
copper's
world
body
for
and
committing
sharp as
some
the
crime.
mind. How have you paid for
This
this
man is,
gift?
well,
With
he probably
innocent
deserved
blood,
it.
yours
Um,
is a predatory profession.
but yeah,
The business of
um,
butchery.
got of
You
course, the
swore
priest with no
single and
pants.
solemn to serve
I'm going
God
to create a
and the
ranger over
order
here.
of
I'm
the
not going to spend too
Templar.
much time talking about the other classes here.
Swift and silent,
But
storm the
what's
bounty
interesting
of
about this
others.
game is that
A
you can
crow
just get really
that
creative with the
plunders our
character
crops.
building, and
A
unlike
stray
games like
dog
Diablo,
that slaughters
you
our sheep.
the skills and
Ours is a
abilities you
land of
learn,
men,
what you do
not
with your character,
animals. Think on that,
what he or she
Ranger,
does,
when Rayclass
um,
shows you how to truly
is not really
live
tied to
like an
their
animal.
class at all. The class definitely is very relevant, but I'll explain more about that as we go. So this character, I'm going to make a ranger here. I do love the ranger class, but what I'm going to do that's interesting this time is I'm going to make a spellcaster ranger. She's sort of typically the archetypal dexterity, evasion-based archer. But I'm gonna make her a. I'm gonna give her a fire spell. I'm gonna have her toast some people. I actually do have a build planned out for this, like I said before, and I'm not a hardcore gamer. I'm much more of a casual. Um, but I do think it's gonna be pretty fun. I have not played it before. It's just kind of an interesting idea, an interesting combination of features that I think will be, well, I think it's going to be pretty well on a Ranger. And I'll talk more about why that is. And I just want to have some fun leveling up and growing and killing some stuff in this game. She is going to be launching some fireballs, so I think, is that how you spell hot tamales? I honestly don't know. I could just Google it, but I have not done that. So, I'm going to guess that this name is taken, and, well, yeah, not surprising to me. Cool. Well, we have a backup plan. Tamales. Let's go. Cool. We're dead. Thanks, guys, for watching my video. Hope you like and subscribe. No, we're going to skip the tutorials, and we're going to get our character up off the ground here. We have just washed ashore from a shipwreck because we are a bad person. I guess we hunted something we weren't supposed to hunt. And we are now banished to this miserable, wet land to survive or die, basically. Now we start off here with a crude bow on the ground. I'm going to pick that up and open my equipment page. Over here you can see I've got a few different flasks here that I can use to gain back life and mana. We're going to go ahead and equip this crude bow up here. And you've got a typical, weapon slot, head, chest, boots, gloves, jewelry, belt. I can put a quiver in the slot to the right, the second weapon slot if I want to. And I can use any weapon that I want to, as any character can in this game. But right now, I just got a bow and arrow here. I'm holding down the shift key to use my default attack from place, because if I don't, I just wander around with left click as well. But we're going to attack, did I say attack? We're going to talk to this already dying exile. And yeah, he's happy to be alive. Looks like we just barely made it from that shipwreck. He cuts off in mid-sentence down here, which is never a good sign. I'm going to guess that, yeah, no, that's his face got in. I'm just going to skip through that conversation a little bit. That's what happens when you stop talking. You should have kept talking. You never stop in mid-conversation, mid-sentence. So, that zombie is going to drop a skill gem here, Burning Arrow. Now, the way skills work in this game, spells, attacks, all the like, is that they're not inherent. They're not. You don't gain them leveling up. You're not entitled to them. They come in the form of these skill gems, and there are many different types. This one is a dexterity skill gem. It's green, and there's intelligence and strength for the other two attributes in the game. And skills are, much like the characters, are kind of affiliated, aligned with these different attributes. As I level the skill gem up, along with myself as well, it will begin to have a dexterity requirement that will increase over time. Now, I'm not going to be a bow user as I level this character up, but just to start out, if I want to use this Burning Arrow skill gem, I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to socket it into an appropriately colored socket on a piece of gear. Boom. Now, with that equipped, it's going to show up down here on my action bar, Burning Arrow. You can see that if you look at what it does here, 50% of physical damage is converted to fire damage. It has, it does 150% of base damage. It has a chance to ignite enemies and does extra damage with Ignite. Ignite is a status effect that's caused by fire damage, as you might imagine. And while we're at it, I'm going to change my default attack key here to move only. The reason for this is because I want to only move with my left click, so that if I'm trying to move towards something in a direction, I don't accidentally click on a mob, like I'm doing now, and attack it from standing in place, which would get me killed. I'm going to shoot some arrows at these guys. Oh, fire. Yeah, mow some of these guys down. And I'm going to skip through, honestly, most of the conversation in this game. Not just because I've already heard it all, but because I don't really... The lore in this game I really truly like. I like that the game doesn't require you to pay attention to it or throw it in your face. But it's a very rich land, honestly. They have really excellent voice acting, lots of excellent story writing. There's some really evil characters you will meet over the course of this game. So I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to sort of get the gist of the quest givers and all that I talked to, but I'm not going to spend too much time on it. They talk like normal people. And as such, it will not be super, it'll take a long time to listen to everyone. So, here we have our first support gem we got from that chest. I'm going to pick that up. So the way support skills work in this game is that you pick them up and you socket them in gear just like any other active skill gem. The difference is that if you see this little link between the two sockets here, what that means is that well, to support an active skill gem like Burning Arrow with a support gem like Pierce, you would have to socket it into a socket that's linked to it. So now what this does says projectiles from supported skills pierce 2 additional targets. So essentially it goes through 2 people and hits a third one standing behind the first, 3. So it can hit up to 3 enemies standing in the line. That's going to give that effect to Burning Arrow. So as I go, see if we can get an example of that. Oh, that's just a... Oh, what did I just do that for? Light you on fire. I'm not even going to keep my bow or this skill gem or anything like that. But for now, that's what I got. Well, I don't actually know if those two were lined up perfectly or not, but sometimes because I do not have 100% accuracy right now, yeah, you can see actually I hit that guy behind him, behind that one in the front, but I missed the one in the front. So, oh, that one's also dead. Now you are too. Cool. Oh, there we go. There's a big baddie. This boy is standing in between me and the town I need to get to. I'm gonna eat him on the flask here to keep firing arrows. This guy's not supposed to be very difficult, and I missed, and he's dead. Woo. Gained a level, dropped a few pieces of gear here. There's another crude bow, much like the one I have. Its sockets are different. You can see it's got red, blue, and yellow sockets. Or sorry, not yellow, green. They are not linked. So different items can have different properties. If it's a white item like this, it's just its unaugmented base item type. This yellow one here, these wool shoes here, that's a rare item. Like this blue one, the shabby jerkin, is a magic item. So the order of rarity of items goes normal, magic, to rare. And above that even is unique. And I will be using quite a few unique items in this build as we go. Ones that I've already found on other characters. So I'm going to pick these two guys up here because they are actually worth selling. I'm also going to pick this one up, and I'll explain why. That was actually kind of a nice find for this point. Right, so we're just going to go ahead and get into town to start actually. Before I do that though, I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to level up here. This is the passive skill tree in Path of Exile. I'm a ranger, start out at this point. Each different class has these kind of like tire-shaped start zones. For example, the Marauder, which is a strength-based character, would start over here in a zone that emphasizes strength, armor, melee physical damage, stuff like that. The Witch, which is a character, or by archetypal, would start up here with a lot of intelligence nodes, spellcasting nodes, mana nodes, and energy shield, which is a stat that functions much like hit points. It basically is, but it's a different value. We're not going to worry about that too much on this build, though. Again, over here I am as a ranger. We have a couple different choices. Now, as you level up, you gain passive skill points to spend onto this tree. And as I go, I'm going to be wandering, obviously it's all connected, I'm going to be wandering through a great portion of this skill tree to get what I want. Each node here has passive benefits. Like if I wanted to go this route, I would get some projectile damage, or potentially attack speed. I would also, over here we've got a notable passive, it's called Ballistic Mastery. So you get the gist. As you level your character, you gain points to spend going forward to augment your character in the ways that you want. If I take this point over here, this gives me some evasion rating and life. I want this. I want to go through these guys here because life and evasion rating are attributes as stats to my character that this character really wants to have going forward. And I can get projectile damage from all sorts of different sources. So just for now, I'm going to start out taking this guy. And passive skill tree, well, there's going to be a lot going on as I go forward. I'm going to apply that point. My life increased a little bit. And yeah, I'm just going to enter this town here. Lion Eyes Watch. Actually, before I do that as well, no, actually, I think we're ready to go in. Cool. You're going to see some other players hanging around. There's many games of this nature. In this case, you don't interact with other players. It is an online game, of course. You don't interact with other players in the field so much unless you're partied up. But these are different other characters, players that are in the same sort of instance as I am in this little town of Lion Eyes Watch. We've got several different quest givers here. And I'm going to actually end this video here in just a moment before we get into talking about, before we get into the advancing the storyline, getting some quests taken and accepted. I'm going to go to my stash over here and pull a bunch of items out of there to equip. And then I'm going to get this character sort of rolling initially into what she's going to become. And I'm going to talk about, too, these different rare and magic items I picked up. They're just going to be things I sell to the vendor. But I'm going to talk a little bit about, and just in passing, how that works and how the currency works in this game as well. And pretty soon, we're going to get setting out into the coast. So, thank you all for watching. I will see you guys soon. Bye.